Marie, turn that down.
Hey Rubies! Welcome back to More Than Rubies with your girl Tia Moore. I am she, the Tia Moore. Thank you so much for tuning into our channel, sis. You are in the right place for a good word today. Now, if this is your first time tuning in, welcome, sis. We are so glad to have you. Get some water, get some tea, coffee, whatever you need, sis. Get comfortable, get ready for this word. If you are an existing Ruby, hey girl, hey, welcome back to the channel, sis. You know, we got something good for you today. Now, of course, if you haven't already, please go ahead and check us out on the gram. We have all type of inspirational content. We have what you need, sis. You connect with us, we connect with you. You become a part of our sisterhood. We're family. You know what I'm saying? We are family. Also, we have a treat for you if you head on over to IamMore.net, our ministry page. You can check out free resources. You can stay up to date on what we have going on, since we have quarterly soirees, we have a royal ball, we have conferences and workshops. Sis, connect with us. You will not regret it. We also have a weekly blog that I think is going to bless your life. So again, head on over to www.iammore.net and connect with us. Now let's hop into this word. So, have you ever been just so gung ho about a title? Maybe you wanted to um, gain a leadership role at work, or you wanted to start your own business, start your own ministry. You are just looking to elevate, and you know, some people want those letters after their name. Um, some even want the letters before their name. But it's like you are willing to do any and everything to get this role. However, it has to be done. You feel like you are a go getter and you are about to just make it happen because you feel in your heart, you feel in your spirit that this is what you're called to do. But my question for you, sis, is who really called you? Just take some time to think about it. Think over your life, some things that you wanted to do. Not saying you're chasing a title, maybe you have, or you know, you're chasing clout. With the culture, you know, everybody wants to be somebody. Instagram, Facebook, Snapchat, TikTok, everybody wants to go viral. Everybody wants to be somebody. And of course, we are somebody because we are created in His image. But I mean, people don't know their identity, so they kind of put their identity into titles, and that makes them feel puffed up. But like I ask you, who called you? So I have been reading the book of First King. At this point in First King, David was a very old man, and for some reason he just couldn't stay warm no matter what they did. So he had advisors around him who offered to get him a PYT, to help him and keep him warm. Now we know David has a past, how he met Bathsheba and killed her husband and married her, and also got her pregnant with son Solomon. We know that whole story, so we know David liked women, period. They found him a Shunammite woman by the name of Abishag, and she was there. She took care of him, and she kept him warm at night. She laid with him, but the thing is, they did not have sex, and I'm guessing that was pretty big for David. I guess that's how they knew he was aging and, you know, on his way out the door, because he did not have sex with her. During that time, his son, very handsome, Adonijah, son of David and Haggith, he began boasting and appointed himself as king. Y'all, his dad wasn't even dead yet, and he's trying to dethrone him already. So he provided himself with horses and chariots. He even had, I think it was, the Bible says it was about 50 men to run in front of him as if to parade him as if he was king, and they were all saying, "Long live King Adonijah." Now, David never rebuked him, or he never asked him why he was doing this. Adonijah, with his sneaky self, took it upon himself to pull Joab and Abiathar aside. They had a conversation, and they all were in cahoots, and they gave him their support for him becoming king. He also tried to get Zadok, Benaiah, Nathan, Shimei, Rai, and David's guard to go along with this, but they did not want any part of this foolishness, okay? They already knew what it was. So Adonijah's going along. He's sacrificing cattle, sheep, and fattened calves. He invited all his brothers and all the royal officials of Judah, but he did not invite Nathan, Benaiah, the guard, or his brother Solomon. So mind you, he invited all of David's other sons, but he did not invite Solomon to this party that he's throwing for himself, because again, he appointed himself king. So Nathan went to Bathsheba, who was Solomon's mom, and asked her if she heard anything about Adonijah becoming king. He also let her know that David knew nothing about it, and he kind of convinced her to go talk to David, like, look, he's like, if you and your son, if you want to spare you and your son's life, you need to go talk to your husband. So she did as instructed. She went along, and she went and laid prostrate at David's feet. Abishag was also there, still comforting David, while he's still alive. So Bathsheba is laying prostrate at the feet of King David, while his little PYT is there comforting and consoling him. Crazy. She said to him, and if you go with me to 1 Kings 17, we're going to go down to about verse 21. And this is the New Living Translation. She said to him, "My Lord, you yourself swore to me by your servant, by the Lord your God, Solomon your son shall be king after me," meaning after David, "and he will sit on my throne," King David's throne. "But now Adonijah has become king, and you, my lord the king, do not know about it. He has sacrificed great numbers of cattle, fattened calves, and sheep, and has invited all the king's sons, Abiathar the priest, and Joab the commander of the army, but he has not invited Solomon your servant. My lord the king, the eyes of Israel are on you, to learn from you who will sit on the throne of my lord the king after him. Otherwise, as soon as my lord the king is laid to rest with his ancestors, and I and my son Solomon will be treated as criminals." So while she was even in there laying prostrate, confessing all this to her husband, King David, Nathan came in with the same news, explaining that Adonijah has crowned himself king. He said that they were also shouting, "Long live King Adonijah," but they haven't invited us to this, and we just want to know who you have appointed king. So David tells them to call Bathsheba back into there, and the king took an oath. He basically said, this is verse 29, "As surely as the Lord lives, who has delivered me out of every trouble, I will surely carry out this very day what I swore to you by the Lord, the God of Israel. Solomon, your son, shall be king after me, and he will sit on my throne in my place." And then, of course, Bathsheba bowed down and praised him and thanked him and blessed him, saying, "May the Lord King David live forever." So then King David calls Zadok the priest, Nathan the prophet, and Benaiah, son of Jehoiada. When they came before the king, he said to them, take your Lord's servants with you and have Solomon, my son, mount on my mule, okay, my mule, and take him down to Gion. There have Zadok the priest and Nathan the prophet anoint him king over Israel. Blow the trumpet and shout, long live King Solomon. Then you are to go up with him, and he is to come sit on my throne and reign in my place. I have appointed him ruler over Israel and Judah. Now, they, of course, did what they were told, and once Adonijah and all his people got wind of what was going on, he felt stupid, they felt stupid, they pretty much scattered, and Adonijah went away scared because he knew what he was doing. This tells you a lot about God, and what the enemy meant for evil, God will turn it around for your good. Again, I want to ask you, who called you? Who called Adonijah? Nobody. He called himself, okay? So I just want you to know that if God calls you, you will not have to sneak around. You will not have to be the crab in the bucket mentality. You don't have to push people down to puff yourself up. You won't have to do anything outside of the will of God. Now, I'm not going to say there won't be trials or there won't be some hesitancy or resistance, because we know God said he's made perfect in our weakness. So I'm not saying that, but I am saying if you have your goal and your goal is set to become that leader, or become that boss chick, become the stealing people's ideas for content or stealing jobs, whatever the case may be, if you have to do it grimy and you have to do it dirty, God did not call you to do it. If you are doing it for the praise of men, God didn't call you to do it. Everything that we do, we are called to do for his glory. So he should be getting the glory. He should be getting the honor for whatever it is. But if it's you that's being puffed up, sis, you're already receiving your reward, and he cannot bless you. The second thing is, even if somebody is around you and they're not doing what you're supposed to do, if God called you, he's always going to have a Nathan behind the scenes. He's always going to have somebody that has your back, that will hold you up, that will make sure that things are done right. Okay? So you don't have to be out here scheming. You don't even have to be out here looking behind your back or being afraid of not going forward, being afraid of not moving forward with a vision that you have because you think somebody's going to take it. It doesn't matter. What God has for you is for you. No devil in hell can take that away from you. No Adonijah can take it from you when you have a Nathan, when God appoints a Nathan in your life. So just remember that we've all been assigned angels. So there's nothing to worry about. God's got you. And the last thing I want to say, and this is very important, if God has called you, he will qualify you. I'm not sure if you know the story of Solomon. Maybe we can get in that in another video. But like I said, Solomon was the son of Bathsheba. Bathsheba was married to a man, and King David, like we said, we know he likes women. He saw her, he liked her, he thought she was beautiful, he wanted her. He had her husband killed. They married, and Solomon came from their relationship. Solomon was kind of like the odd man out. He was the least, the last, and the lost, as we would say. And he was counted out. But God called him. And the thing about Solomon was he didn't know how to be a king. He wasn't raised in royalty. He wasn't raised up that way. Normally, as a king, you are groomed to be a king. This is what your life's mission is. You know how to walk the walk. You know how to talk the talk. You know how to greet people. You know the etiquette of the kingdom. Well, Solomon didn't have that. And later on, it goes to say that Solomon cried out to the Lord, and he prayed that he doesn't know how to take care of this kingdom that he's been blessed with. And God asked him what he wanted. Solomon didn't say, I want money. He didn't say, I want a bunch of women. He said he wants wisdom. And because he told God that he wants wisdom, God allowed him, he blessed him with wisdom that no man shall ever have again. He blessed him with wisdom, and he also blessed him with riches. So when God has called you, he is going to bless what he's called. So, sis, I hope that you enjoyed that. I hope you got something out of this brief word. Remember, always check your motives, whatever you're doing, and make sure you want to ask yourself, who called me? If I'm doing this for my own selfish ways, that's not of God. Maybe I need to check my heart. Maybe I need to take it to God before I move forward. Sometimes we get so caught up in what we want to do that we forget to consult Him. And He is the author and finisher of our faith. He knew us before we were in our mother's womb. He knows us down to the very hair on our head. Why wouldn't we consult Him? So, sis, check your motives and make sure that it's God who called you. And if He's called you, nobody or no thing can stop that. So,
Turn that down.
if you have made it this far in this video, sis, first of all, can you just leave me a heart emoji down in the comments and let me know if you've ever had a situation like this where you thought God had called you to something and then realized later this ain't that. Also, make sure you click the like button. If you like this video, make sure you smash that subscribe button and also click your notification bell. And sis, we will be back next Monday. Thank you so much for tuning in. Before I go, don't forget to check us out on the gram and check us out on our ministry page, www.iamwar.net. We got you covered, sis. We also will keep you covered in prayer. Until next time, bye, Rubies. Have a great week.